Hello everybody and welcome back to Gaming on Caffeine. My name is Isaac and we're back playing some FTB Infinity for episode 39, and today we are going to build ourselves a big reactors, big turbine. We're going to fill this hole in the floor and we are going to start to produce a absolute ton of power, which should be more than enough to run everything that we have right now, and should even be enough to fuel some of the future projects that I have planned, which are also going to use an absolute ton of power. So last episode we set up this guy over here, the steam boiler from Railcraft, and since last episode this thing has just been going and going and going, and we are now at 508 degrees Celsius, which I think is about maximum efficiency for the boiler. You can see it is still burning through charcoal like it is no one's business, but hopefully that will not be too big of a problem. We seem to be doing just fine in terms of charcoal. We do have a lot here, and it keeps coming back through the tree farm up top, so everything seems to be okay. And the first thing we're going to do is build all of the parts for the big reactor. Now, the first thing we're obviously going to need is turbine housing. The big reactors, by the way, the big turbines, should I say. I don't know what to call them, really. Big turbines? The turbines? Whatever. Are built very similar to the big reactors. They have this kind of outer casing, they have the controller, they have the inputs, the outputs, and the power taps, so they're all very similar in setup. And the first thing we're going to need is a ton of this reactor housing. I did a little bit of calculations, and I think we need about 5 to 6 stacks of this stuff, so a lot of this stuff. And then 4 of these require 4 iron, 2 nether quartz, 2 graphite bars, which are made by smelting either coal or charcoal, as well as some cyanide ingots, which I showed you at the end of last episode. Not how to make, because I keep getting cyanide confused with plutonium. Plutonium you make by putting cyanide in a cyanide reprocessor. As you can see, I did put the accuracy accumulator back behind there. Actually, I made another one and put it behind there and set this up again, so that should be working just fine. But for this, we actually need normal cyanide, so it's a good thing we still have quite a bit of that, and we should be able to make quite a few stacks of these. That's 3, 4, I'm scared we're going to run out of nether quartz, 5, 6? Wow. Okay, well, that was actually kind of interesting. I also went ahead and made a ton of enderium, which took forever to make since the end of last episode. You'll see over here, we have a hopper. I basically just threw all of the stuff required into here, and using this recipe with the enderium base, ender pearls, and pyrotheum dust, made a bunch of enderium ingots, and you'll see why a little bit later on in the episode. These are pretty expensive, but we had a ton of ender pearls, a ton of stuff to make pyrotheum dust, and a bunch of stuff to make the enderium base, so it wasn't too bad on our resources. Now, before I make everything else that we need, like the controller and the power tap and so on, I'm going to make a little item from extra utilities, which is going to help massively in setting up that big reactor, and that is the builder's wand. Now, the builder's wand is made using some unstable ingots, which we made earlier in the series to make our angel ring, I believe. So to make this, we're going to need some obsidian, 1 piece. We're going to need a diamond and an iron to get ourselves that unstable ingot, like so. And I think we're also going to need a stick, I want to say. I'm going to do a quick check here. Builders, that's not how you spell builders. Like that. Builder's wand. No, it's just an obsidian and an unstable ingot. So we are going to need a normal crafting table. You cannot make unstable ingots in any other form of crafting table, I don't think, unless that's been changed recently. I don't really want to test it, because these things do explode if you don't use them within 10 seconds. So we're going to go like this. We're going to go division sigil, diamond, iron, other way around, like that. Get this, and then quickly just do this, and get ourselves a builder's wand. Nice! And basically, what this allows you to do is put down multiple blocks at once. So, if we do something like this, the base is obviously going to be made fully of this turbine housing, like so. Not going to have that one that's sticking up there. And then, do we have any... Oh, we don't... Oh, where's our drill? Where's our drill at? It's there. Thank you. I was scared that wouldn't be in power then. I was thinking we'd have to go ahead and fix our obsidian, our obsidian pickaxe, which wouldn't be too big of a deal, to be fair, but I really didn't want to. Here we go. If we throw all these down like this, then normally what we'd have to do is kind of build up all this thing all the way up the wall. But with the wand, if you have the blocks in your inventory, you can just do this. All the way up to the top. Same over here. All the way up to the top. And we're done. Look at that. We made far too many blocks of turbine housing. I don't know where I went wrong with that, but that's fine. We can go ahead and make a few more of these turbines if need be, because I think this boiler is making more than enough steam for 1 turbine. Now, the turbine itself actually requires things in the middle. It requires like a turbine to actually spin. So in order to make that, we need to go back to big reactors. over here, and we need to get ourselves some turbine rotor blades and some turbine rotor shaft. The shaft is made using these cyanide ingots, so I told you they would come in handy with 2 iron ingots. We're going to go ahead and make 10 of those. I think we might only need 9, actually, so I'm going to make 9 for now. We'll come back and make more if needs be. And with these, I'm going to go ahead and make 12, I think, is what I'm going to make here. We'll see how this works out. It's really up to you how you make this. It's very customizable, much like the big reactor. You can make them as big, as small, as wide, as short as you'd like. For me, I'm going to make it 10 deep like this. I did a bit of testing in a single-player world, and it worked out quite nicely. So the shaft that goes up through the middle like this, kind of all the way near the top, but we do need to close this off at the top, so I'm not going to actually have it go all the way to the top. And then for the blades, you need to have them coming off like this. Now, again, you can kind of have this going however you like. I'm going to choose to have 3 lots of blades like this. There, and then here, here, and here. Although, to be fair, I could have blades going all the way down to the base. I could have as many blades as I want. Now, we could hook this up, and I think this would actually work. However, to make a turbine more efficient, you can put what's known as a coil down at the bottom around the base shafts, and what that's going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to make more power and be more fuel efficient when it comes to steam and stuff, and that is where our enderium ingots come in. So we're going to go ahead and make a ton of these enderium blocks. We're actually going to make as many as we can here. Like that. I think we need 16 in total, because we're going to make 2 rings worth down at the bottom. There's 16, and we're going to do something like this. Now, I'll put a link in the description to the Feed the Beast wiki page, where you can find out all the different blocks that you can put around this, because it's not just the enderium here. Enderium is the most expensive, and pretty much the best when in terms of power efficiency and generating more power, but if you're playing earlier game and you want to build this thing, there are some other blocks that you can use that are not so expensive, but do still give you a nice little boost there. So the final couple of things that we're going to need to make are, of course, the controller. This guy over here, made using some turbine housing, a diamond, and 2 plutonium. We'll take that. We're going to need a power tap to obviously pull the power out of. We'll take that. We're going to need a turbine fluid port to send the steam that we're producing in our steam boiler into the steam turbine. This guy is made using 1 more of those. There we go. As well as a piston, apparently. There we go, and boom, thank you very much, and I think that's actually about it. No, it's not. We need the reactor rotor turbine bearing. We need this thing over here. This is made with 2 rotor shafts, so I think we do need 1 more. There we go. And this guy, basically, it's very expensive, actually, 3 diamonds. This thing goes right at the top here, like that. You do have to have that at the top of the shaft, otherwise it won't work. It's kind of the thing it's going to spin around. And then all we have to do is hook up the controller, like that. Hook up the... I'm actually going to do it the other side here. I'm going to put the power tap... actually, no, I'm going to put the power tap there. I'm going to put... That's not the power tap, that's the fluid pot. I'm going to put the fluid pot over here. For obvious reasons, it's kind of closer to the steam thing over there. And then we're going to throw down the power tap over here. It's closer to our energy core, so we can get the power over here pretty simply. Doesn't really matter where you put these, as long as they are not in the outer casing. And then I'm going to fill the middle up here with some turbine glass. We don't need to use turbine glass. We could use more turbine housing, but I think it looks kind of nice. Much like with the big reactor, it allows us to see what's going on inside. We don't have any glass, so we're going to go ahead. Do we have any sand? We do. Let's just take you and quickly smelt some of that up. Come on, stop. I don't want any more ender pearls. I just want glass. There we go. That's going to make us normal glass. That is there. Thank you. And then you can turn it back to normal glass by just crafting it, because quite clear glass won't work with anything else. It works with some things, but it's just kind of safer to make sure you do this. And then if we do this, and this, and this, that gets us to, I think we need like 5. So we'll go ahead and grab just a couple more here. That, I think, should be enough. There we go. And then we'll make ourselves 3 more of these. Like that, and this should form into a nice little multi-block over here on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and voila! It's a bit of a weird one. Usually, actually, I'm going to do it. I usually like to have all of my taps and stuff on the same side, just to make it look a little bit nicer. Like so. So we have the controller kind of there, and then we'll put the power tap. Actually, I can't make my mind up. We're going to put the power tap on this side, because I do still want it to be closer to this, and then we'll put the controller on this side. Like that. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with that. We'll throw you down there. There forms into a multi-block. And now if we open the controller, you can see that we have a nice little interface that looks very similar to the interface from the big reactors. So the next thing we have to do is grab ourselves some more fluid ducts so that we can go ahead and pull the steam from the steam boiler out and into this guy here. We just don't have enough. That's really annoying. We should, I hope, be able to make another hardened fluid duct, although I'm not quite sure if we have everything that we're gonna need here. Let's see. No! Oh, we're so close. What are we missing? We're missing some... We'll use that. We'll make some quartz. If we just take... We are running out of nether quartz, which doesn't really surprise me, because we made a ton of turbine housing. But if we go ahead and just throw 4 nether quartz in there, that should make us a hardened glass, or a quartz glass, I think it might be called, which is interchangeable. Fused quartz, which is interchangeable for hardened glass. There we go. It gets us 6 more hardened fluid ducts, and we should be able to do this, which should fill up this guy with steam. And if we go ahead and activate the turbine, it will start to consume this steam, turn it into water, and start to spin. Now, you can see the speed of the rotor up here at so many hundred RPM. The turbine works best at 900 and 1800 RPM. So you kind of want to keep it about that speed at all times. You can see we're already at 1000 RF a tick, and we're only at 400 RPM. As it gets higher, it's going to produce more and more and more, being most efficient around 900 and 1800. You can control the amount of steam that goes in over here. If you see, we can go ahead and let me just press to get rid of any eye there. If we just click down, it goes down by 1 millibucket, so we can only allow a certain number of millibuckets per tick into the big reactor. This is useful if it's like going, if you've got like 1000 RPM, it's kind of a good idea to limit the amount of steam that's allowed in and bring it back down to about 900, because you're probably going to get more power at 900 than you are at 1000, and it's going to use less steam, which is a good thing, because then you can use it for other turbines in the future. So what we're going to have to do here, really, is kind of just wait for this thing to go ahead and speed up. By the way, you can use shift-click to lower this by tens and control-click to lower it by hundreds at a time. Very useful. I think even shift-left, I think shift-control brings it down by 1000. Yeah, it does. There we go. I'm going to leave it at 2000 for now. We're going to see what RPM we get to. Hopefully, I think this design should get us to about 1000, at which point we'll go ahead and kind of lower down the input. This is actually got a lot of steam here. We are kind of holding steady. Not massively. It's kind of, we are going down on, like, we're on a downward trend, but I'm hoping as this gets hotter and hotter and hotter, it should hopefully even out a little bit and be able to kind of cope with this much here. Although, like I said, if we're gonna go ahead and limit it, it might be good once we start to limit the power. So I'm gonna go ahead, guys. I'm gonna wait here until this reaches kind of its max RPM, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so a little while later, we're gonna go ahead and make ourselves a few more of these redstone flux ducts, so we can go ahead and pull the power from our new turbine to our energy core. And unfortunately, I don't think we're quite producing enough steam with our one steam boiler to get this thing up to 900 RPM. We were hovering around 600. I did go ahead and add 4 more of the fans, so we have another layer of fans. We now have 4 layers of 4, if that makes sense, which did move the rotor efficiency up to 100, which means we are getting quite a lot of power. We're getting 3,500 RF a tick, which is pretty cool, but we're not quite at that 900. And I know for a fact, if we can get it up to 900, we can get around 5,000 redstone flux a tick, which is pretty nice. But for now, we can go ahead and do something like this. And, oh, we're just missing it by 1. Wow. Okay, we should be able to go ahead and grab 1 more real quick, which should be more than enough. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab all of these overclockers again. These overclockers here are the ones from the recycler downstairs. If we take these, and I think there is one somewhere. Nope, there's not. That's all of them. We should be able to go ahead and power both the recycler and the mass fabricator and everything else in our base using just the turbine here, as well as the power from the big reactor, which would be very nice indeed. You can see this thing is now filling up pretty quickly, which is good. This guy is going ahead and actually doing stuff for a change, and if we go ahead and throw 8 overclockers in you, that's almost fine. Almost fine. I think the problem with this now is the fact that it doesn't have enough cables going to it. So if we were to do this and get rid of that, we need to get another cable coming off of here and going into here. Now, how we would actually do that is a different question entirely. What we could do, I think, is possibly go ahead and move this. Now, I think that these actually respond to covers. So if we get ourselves a cover from Forge Microblocks and do something like this, can we put a cover on there and then actually put a cable in here? Is that something we can do? I guess we're about to find out. It is not, which is a real shame, because that would have been pretty cool. Okay, let's try this a different way then. Let's see about possibly going up. We could probably come out of here, go up, over, and then down again, which would use a few more cables, or even up and out, I guess, would also work. Let's try and make a few more of these RedNet energy cables, and see if we can get this thing up and running. RedNet energy cables. These things aren't too expensive to make. If it would show me the recipe, because the recipe is that one over there. We need some redstone blocks. Redstone blocks are easy. Let's go make a stack of them, because we've got so much redstone now. It is kind of crazy. Let's go ahead and make some more raw plastic, which we should be able to do, if only 8, which is not the best, but it did get us quite a few of these RedNet energy cables, which is nice. So, let's try that, and then we'll get rid of this one. And then we'll do the same over on this side, but this time we're going to put you there. That should be fine for that. And then for this one, we're going to kind of come out and then go up and over. There we go. Now he's got more than enough power. And that should, hopefully... Oh, I think what's happening here is, because this thing has so much power, it burns through the scrap that this guy produces even faster than it was before. So it is burning through scrap really, really, really fast right now, but it should be good to go. We're almost at 1 bucket's worth, guys. Almost at 1 bucket's worth. So this thing's going to go ahead and continue to working. What we might do, what we're probably going to have to work on over there, like in the future, is getting some more steam. We will probably make a few more of these across this wall here. That is going to require us to massively improve our charcoal game. So we will either have to go ahead and improve our tree farm, make another tree farm, find some other way of getting a ton of charcoal or coal coke in massive amounts, which is going to be tricky, but I think it'd be a good idea to do that. We could probably set up another turbine over here if we get enough steam and, of course, enough charcoal and stuff like that. But I think with that, guys, I'm going to end this episode here. Thanks for watching. We'll come back next time. We might be able to go ahead and continue with bees. We are getting quite far into it. You can see the flowers are flipping all over the place. And if we look over here, I did manage to get an Imperial bee, which is pretty nice. I'm going to set another Majestic and Noble going, because we need to get an Imperial Princess before we can start to breed them and try and get some of that royal jelly that we need to make an alveary, but hopefully we'll get that in the future. We're also kind of close. Get out of here. Get out. This guy's really strong. I'm going to just fly up. We're also kind of close to getting the Industrious drone. We do have an Unwary, and I think we have a Diligent, but we don't have a Princess of either, so we can't quite make that Industrious yet, but we are getting close, and hopefully, if we keep at it for the next couple episodes, we should eventually be able to move on with the Forestry Bees, as well as a bunch of other stuff. But as I said, for now, guys, thanks for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please hit like, and I will see you guys next time.